Over the summer, I'm going on a trip to Italy with my family, and we will be going to a plethora of different art museums during my time there. Thus, I feel like I could use this project as a way of researching different museums in the country and familiarize myself with what to expect. When doing my research, I took a particular liking to the sculptures in the Borghese Gallery in Rome by Gian Lorenzo Bernini, and I will be highlighting 3 of these pieces. All 3 of these pieces, although unique in their own regards, share a mastery from their sculptor Bernini in movement and how to convey movement in something that is completely still. First, we're looking at David, which was completed in the year 1624. For context, Bernini was a dominant figure in the Roman art world during the Baroque era. According to the article by artisticodyssey.com, his sophisticated techniques garnered the attention of the major public, and even Pope Urban VIII, who was an influential figure in Roman Catholicism. David is a sculpture based on the biblical story of David and Goliath, where David walks out onto a desolate battlefield to defeat Goliath in battle. David, with just his slingshot, becomes victorious in the battle, as God was on his and the Israelites' side. Bernini seeks to replicate the scene at the peak of action when David is about to release the stone from his slingshot. A little over a century prior, we can actually see a contrast in Bernini's David depiction to the famous Michelangelo towering and stoic version. Michelangelo focuses on the perfection of the human body, without focus on the action of the situation. Rather, he shows up to the lead of the battle. As according to the interpretation of smart history art historians Dr. Harrison Zucker, Michelangelo's David is staring down Goliath as Bernini's is fully engaged in the conflict. In Bernini's David, we see the chiseled cloths flowing to convey to the audience the shifting of positioning to prepare for his attack. Another feature we can see is the strain of muscles and contortion in his face to emphasize the burden the slingshot's draw has on the body. Conflict is one way Bernini was able to convey such natural movements, and the second sculpture I want to highlight is Apollo and Daphne. Now, Apollo and Daphne, for context, is based off of the famous Greek myth. After taunting Ares, the love of God, Apollo is struck in the heart by one of Ares' arrows, which makes him fall madly in love with the nymph Daphne, a river god. Ares then struck Daphne with a lead arrow, which made her feel disgust towards Apollo, and she begins to run away. Finally, as Apollo caught up to her, she turned into a tree after receiving the aid of her father, Peneus. Bernini's sculpture shows the exact moment when Apollo caught up to her and the beginning of her transformation. In the sculpture, Daphne's hair and Apollo's clothes convey the movement of Daphne's escape and Apollo's pursuit. A smaller detail could be seen in the folds of Daphne's skin around her stomach, which makes the piece feel even more human. Another way Bernini was able to capture the essence of the story is through the emotions on each of the subjects' faces. Apollo looks to Daphne with desire and admiration as Daphne looks away in her disgust and even with some fear. The tension of this work is undeniable, but it is also relieved with the transformation of Daphne to the tree. The leaves and bark serve as a major contrast to the rest of the work and a point of serenity in an otherwise intense piece. Finally, we come to Bernini's Neptune. Although the original is housed in London's Victoria and Albert Museum, the Borghese Gallery houses a bronze copy of the piece, and it's still gorgeous enough to make it to this exhibition. Neptune commonly represents control and mastery of the seas, which I think very much complements Bernini's specialties at this time. Many historians regard Bernini's Neptune and other works following, including Apollo and Daphne as we discussed, to be when Bernini's truly achieved perfection and mastery of his craft. Thus, it would only be fitting for him to bring to life a sculpture that encapsulates mastery itself. In the work, Neptune appears to be spearing a dolphin in a moment of divine wrath, plunging his trident into the animal. His muscle strains as he pushes his way into the trident, trapping the dolphin under him. This act perfectly encapsulates what we discussed earlier with Neptune's control and mastery of the seas, but it also introduces a level of dominance in his character which demands respect from the viewers. With this in mind, the actions of Neptune also makes the viewer wonder, what happened here? Why is the dolphin smitten by the god? And what's the bigger story here? It's beautiful when a work of art makes the viewer imagine, and Neptune is able to do just that. To conclude, this exhibition is a beautiful highlight of Bernini's mastery and movement with sculptures. The drama within the works is absolutely moving. I'm extremely excited to see these works in person, and I hope that with this exhibition, we can have a deeper understanding of the art, but we can also have a deeper understanding of the artist. Thank you.